batting second should
I
be
think
asked
the
to chase
problem
double.
which is there, Oyan, is this the duration of the matches, and it is such a short
Yeah, yeah, short
span.
trip.
The tour, very short tour, and you cannot, because you come back and play South Africa,
I know.
and then you
I
play
think
South African.
but you know what, Rahul? What one should do is in these cases, you just increase the run scored to some 60% higher or something. Because see, if I lose 3 wickets, I mean, if I knew that I was going to play a 26 over match, everything would have been different, right? You would not have so many close and fielders. The power play would have been lesser. I would have, as I'm saying, Rohit probably might not have been out
I
because
have a
there's,
yeah, I have a feeling
then,
ODIs are, after the 27 World Cup, ODIs might be extinct.
yeah,
This might
because
be the last
what
World
is
Cup.
the
This might be the last
point?
50-year World Cup.
What is the point, right? Because you are having, the T20 thing is firmly and absolutely ensconced.
Yes,
Because it is
and the money it brings, the money it is bringing also
absolutely, it brings the highest revenues in cricket.
revenues.
I mean,
Cricket.
there's no comparison with any other format. Right? So if that
Yep. Yep.
happens, then having another thing which is again, see, the problem of cricket is its impracticality, right? It is the most romantic outdoor
Correct.
game
Correct.
that exists.
Exists.
So
Correct.
the problem is when you watch a one-day international, that means it is a whole day gone for you, right? It starts at 10 in the
You
morning.
remember, Oyon, the 87 Reliance Cup, and how much we used to wait in Durdarshan. The abated breath we used to wait for the
Yeah, yeah.
matches. I can still
But
think about it 40 years back. 9
he,
o'clock start. I mean, we used to glue to the sets. That
see,
was something, I mean,
that
that was something different.
semi-final loss was one of the worst days of my
Was,
life.
was,
I mean, I
right.
wanted to
Correct, correct.
go and thrash Kapil Dev. India were sailing. He had no need to hit Heming
Yeah, yeah.
Sakshi for the
Absolute selling.
sake.
Correct.
Absolutely. No, but Venkateswarlu didn't play. That was a huge blow. He was the world's best batsman at that point of time.
At that
But
point of
anyway,
time.
but then anyway, see, the thing is, in '87, you were fine with losing an entire working day seeing cricket. Because think of it, 50 over matches mean each batting team gets 3.5 hours, close to that. That
Correct.
means 7 hours plus 45-minute lunch,
45
8 hours
minutes.
gone.
Go on.
8 hours is a working day. So, test matches are something where you come for 5 days, you know that, people who are utterly and absolutely die-hard fans of cricket, they will come and see the test matches. But ODIs, you are asking somebody who's a professional to give off 8 hours, a whole working day of their lives. Why would they do that? A T20 match is perfect. You finish the working day, you go, you go to even if you won't go to the ground, you leave at 7 o'clock, you reach there at 8 o'clock, the match ends at 11, you have a long night. If it's a Friday or something, you have a weekend, fantastic, right? You don't lose anything. So there does not need to be one day is happening. There is no
So you have this strong
place for
belief that
ODIs.
ODIs should be extinct. That's a
Not
good
should
point,
be.
rather.
Not
Oh, no.
should be. I like ODIs, but I think the
I also like
practicality of
ODIs.
our times.
And yeah, and the way the ODIs are dwindling now. From 30
So
ODIs, India is playing 5 ODIs a year, which is shocking. Which is really
the
shocking.
so Rahul, the practicality of 2025 and the practicality of the times that we live in will appear to be the end game for ODIs.
ODI. Correct. On that note, we'll move to Amit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's better. Much better. Much, much better.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so
your
what I was,
questions, yeah. Over to you, Amit.
so basically what I feel, given the way things are shaping up, I personally feel that ODIs will have to give way for T20s first of all, and after you will also see it post 2020 in South Africa. There will be this kind of football, the way football World Cup is kind of held, right? I mean, in 4 years we have this football World Cup, then you have this friendly matches and qualifiers. Pretty much similar. Pretty much similar. We'll be able to see in the ODI format also, and we'll be having more bilateral T20 internationals and test matches, which makes sense. I mean, if you see the profit and the revenue, it comes from these days from a shorter format. Uh, Longer format will be always there, but I personally feel that ODI is a kind of a format that might have to be scrapped altogether. So that's my take. And personally, whatever I have heard heard from different sources, also different news channels, media, that they will have a look at the 2027 World Cup in South Africa, and if everything is kind of going as per the plan, so after 2027, you will see lesser ODI bilaterals. I mean, you will practically see no bilateral ODIs, rather than you will be having all this multi-nation ODF tournaments. That's all for the ODIs, and you will see in 2 years there will be one T20 World Cup and
So you
Test match World Cup,
agree
which
with
which is planned.
Ion that it will be WTC and T20 World Cups. That's all.
Yes, yeah. No, 50 overs World Cup will be there, very much like football. Like we have a football World Cup, right? So maybe for
We have a
football
soccer
World Cup,
World
we
Cup,
have the Euro,
but we have throughout the year we have
soccer World Cup.
multiple bilateral soccer tournaments. We have CONCACAF Cup, we have Euro Championships, we have too many tournaments also. We have the World Football
But
Championship. But
they are
if the ODIs are the World Cup is just going to be like every 4 years, then obviously for benefit revenue reasons, as Ion rightly said, how many countries will be agreeing to play the ODIs? Because it depends on how many countries want to play. ICC doesn't. ICC is not a FIFA.
yes.
They don't have a. They don't are not in a position to put things on the cricketing boards because India rules anyways 65 to 70% of the revenue.
So I actually had a point here also, Amit. So if you think about this from the perspective of the players, do you think they will be ready to play suddenly once in 4 years in a format which has otherwise disappeared?
Correct.
Right?
My
So
point is
if
exactly
the
that.
format
Exactly that.
disappears, then you will have a hard time in convincing cricketers to suddenly jump into something that has huge national
Really?
Yeah,
prestige.
because in cricket,
I think
Yeah.
I think that they will not directly jump into the ODI World Cup. They will be having this Champions Trophy. They will be having the Asia Cups,
Achha.
maybe Afro Asian Cup. Sometimes multinational tournaments might happen. I do see that format is kind of changing drastically. Format, I would say the way things were when we were or let's say in the early 2000s or maybe late 1990s, when we used to have a lot of bilaterals, those kind of stuffs will be going. Going from the picture. This is what I feel, but maybe I could be wrong. Also,
So,
maybe
so I think
after
what
2027.
No, what I think Amit is trying to say, which I kind of agree with, is I think, see, nobody wants to take very drastic decisions. So for ICCs to suddenly announce that, okay, this is the end of the 50 over format, that would create so much turbulence that it's probably better to just say that, okay, bhai, let us slowly phase it out. You have those 1-2 tournaments in a year. Okay, wo bhi rahega, ye bhi rahega. So it's like,
Absolutely, absolutely. They will not scrap off ODIs
right,
completely,
right.
because
That
it's a
I kind of,
format that ICC will never take this decision to scrap T20s altogether. Why? Because Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar, they have a lot of records. Australia won how many times? 5 to 6 times ODI World
Yes,
Cups.
yes, absolutely.
So if you scrap this format altogether, their record also goes for a toss,
Correct,
isn't
correct.
it? So
That is correct.
so
So
it has
such
to
a
be
drastic,
phased out.
yeah, such
Yeah,
a drastic decision is unlikely for any board to suddenly
but
take.
Ion, if they want to phase it out, as the way it is happening, 5, 8, India playing 9 ODIs, I think, this year, and 8 ODIs next year to the build up to the 27, which is very shocking. Yeah,
No,
but
but
don't you think that they don't? No. Don't you think it's a dichotomy? In the one end, I don't want to scrap the World Cup. In the other end, I don't have enough lead-up matches.
yeah. So
Before
see,
the 2003 World Cup, India played close
no,
to
you
38 ODIs.
Rahul, I beg to differ here. I mean, see, for, just before the World Cup, you have these warm-up matches, right?
Correct.
I think every team
But the
plays two
warm-up
warm-up
matches,
matches.
are they good enough preparation time? That is my question. We play 15 test matches a year. That is a preparation. But
see,
playing 20,
Rahul,
yeah.
if see, I will take the the words of the great Donald Trump here. You need to strike a deal, right? The deal
Mhm.
is you do not take drastic decisions, and you get a middle way. You get a middle path. The middle path is that if you play too many ODIs, you'll have nobody coming to watch. You will have drastic losses in revenues. People, the television rights and all, there'll be a problem. So you absolutely do not go and start increasing the frequency of ODIs. But at the same time, you say that the format which was the first ever transition from test cricket into the limited variety of the game. If who would have the guts to go and say that stop, this is the last ODI ever played, guys, iske baad aur kuch nahi hoga? You think anybody in the ICC has the guts to come and announce
Well,
this
that's
was
what
the
I'm saying.
last ODI ever? They will not do
FIFA is
that.
a very powerful organization, and I'm talking power, not money. FIFA, but
So
ICC, even the amount of money they generate, they are dependent on one country, India. So I don't
yeah.
think they can take any
So,
call.
no, no. So even FIFA does not have the guts to suddenly stop a running tournament. ICC is nothing compared to FIFA. So you
But
think
that's what I'm
ICC
saying.
will,
Nothing.
but ICC will not go and therefore announce that ODIs are finished. They will never announce.
No, no.
OD
What I'm
ICC
trying to
will
tell
say.
you, Ayan, is
Uh,
not what
uh,
you, not you. I mean, what I'm trying to tell, probably you're not understanding the point. The point is, if across the world ODIs are not being played, then what is the use of playing a World Cup? Because you don't have a lead-up preparation. No,
no,
you're
no.
trying to understand. I
Yeah,
played
yeah.
T20, 20 matches. I have a lot of preparation to the World Cup. But in 50 over format, I have only 8 matches to play. So there's no
Right.
preparation.
So
That's what I'm
that's
trying to
what,
tell you.
yeah, that is what I said as well to Amit. But what the point here is, if you do not have the guts to stop a version, you somehow choose a middle path, and the middle path is you play warm up matches, you play those Champions Trophy, you play 8 matches, 10 matches, 15 matches. वो थोड़ा सा चलता ही रहेगा. Don't create any controversy. Let it go on. And who is happy? You are happy. I'm happy. Everybody. And at times we talk on this show and create a lot of furor. But do you think they care? They do not want controversy. They want something which is acceptable to everybody. Some revenue comes in. Creators don't complain. Fine, let it go on. But you will not
Rahul,
have this increase. The
exactly.
frequency of
Rahul,
ODIs will not increase.
exactly. Rahul, and did you follow the part ODI? I mean, did you see bits and pieces of the match
Yeah,
Last
yeah.
one, India, Australia. Yeah, I
Huh.
did.
yesterday?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you see that stadium? Did you see
Huh, huh.
how the stadium was planned out? I mean, I didn't see the stadium was packed.
No, no,
So
no,
you
not at
can,
all.
know, right? And if you remember the Optus Test match which happened last year, it was totally packed up, right? I mean, there wasn't an empty seat in the stadium. So you can understand. I mean, people are losing interest in ODIs because this format is somewhat getting close to this dinosaur era. I personally feel that it
Or
has
it
come
is,
to a point of
or it is
stagnation.
getting replaced by T20s in a much faster way.
T20 T20s and Test cricket will be preserved, I personally feel. Not I. I think the entire cricket fraternity wants Test cricket to be kind of preserved.
There.
And T20s are for entertainment and, I mean, revenue. ODI cricket will be there just for the relevance part that you have a separate format where some of the legends of the game played, like Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, these guys, uh, even if you see Ricky Ponting, Matthew Heron, Adam Gilchrist, this kind of legends played the game. So it will have some sort of relevance. But going forward, there will be only two formats which will be kind of
I
gaining
think we have
maximum
discussed a lot on that, Amit.
Dominating.
But my first
Dominating.
question to you was: are we going to see Rocco in ODIs going forward? Given ODIs are only few, and we have been discussing, and is Rocco getting phased out? That 0 and 10 obviously have
I
put a lot of pressure. Will they get phased out before the
you
27th World
know,
Cup? Is what I'm asking. Ayan said the next game is very
yeah,
critical for both of them.
see, I do agree with Anandal. See, according to me, it's not panic time yet, but it's a reminder that both Rohit and Kohli need
Only.
game time in pace-friendly
And
conditions.
that is
We have
exactly
seen
by
how the Optus.
retiring. They don't have a game time. Only format they play. That is what I'm trying to hit also. Iron. That only format both of them play is 8 matches a year. Eight
Definitely,
matches, only eight ODIs they get in a year. So how will they
Rahul,
prepare? Anyways, there's no game time. They don't play
I,
test. They retire
I'll
from
tell you,
T20. So that's a
Rahul,
mistake. Yeah.
Rahul, I'll tell you one funny story. I mean, when India
Yeah.
won the last T20 World Cup,
Correct.
the
Correct.
moment Kohli and Rohit decided to retire, they
Retire.
didn't they didn't expect that they will be exposed so badly in the test format, where they actually might be forced to move out, or they will have to themselves retire from the format. They didn't expect that. Now, what happened in Test match cricket? They are being clearly told that you do not fit in our plans because you haven't been performing up to the desired level. So this is what this Rocco never expected. Now, if they fail again in the next match, I mean tomorrow, the selectors will fail to start bring successes more aggressively for 2027 South Africa World Cup. The key is, see, Rahul, the key is not just runs, but how they adjust technically. Both Rocco must show adaptability to rounds and strike rotation in shorter over matches overseas. Yes,
I
point of
think
view.
that is a problem because
I think
I cannot exactly blame. I do not like Gautam Gambhir as a person and the way he coaches, but I really can't blame him on this because if you have a 2.5 years to go and you are carrying two 38-year-old logheads, it is very difficult for a coach. Even I am being a coach or I being a coach will have three thoughts, not one thought that if these two will survive or not.
you know what, this match for me, this match, I mean, I saw bits and pieces of the match. This match was a missed opportunity for us. While the bowlers, I thought held up fairly well given the conditions and interruptions. The batting failure up front, especially from the top order and senior players like Rocco, and the inability to seize control of a reduced match caused them. I mean, I don't know whether India actually had any plan B when this rain kind of interrupted. They thought that they will be playing a complete 50-over match where they could take their time. Rahul, maybe Nitish Reddy or Akshar Patel, they could take their time and drag India along. But that didn't happen, and Australia just raced past India's total. But still, I would feel that it's not all gloom at the moment. I mean, we cannot just comment on a single loss. Like India just lost one ODI in the last how many ODIs? I can't remember now. They have won, I think, eight consecutive matches before they lost this one. There are positives. Rahul's innings, some resilience, Alua down, Nitish Reddy, Akshar Patel, and plenty of time for India to bounce between seats. There are two more matches. My only thing is that the bigger concern is whether India's preparation and adaptability in this Australian conditions will hold up across the series and the lead up to the bigger tournaments. That is my only concern.
I have two final questions to both of you. For one, Ayan and Amit, you can both combinedly answer. One is South African grounds. I have been to South Africa. I've watched cricket in Johannesburg and I've stayed in Australia, so I know the grounds. Australia and South Africa, because in Southern Hemisphere, more or less have the same grounds, except Centurion. Most of the grounds in Australia, Johannesburg, South Africa, I'm sorry, in South Africa, most of the grounds are like Adelaide and Melbourne. Sydney has a little of spin, which Durban has. Durban has a lot of pace also. I mean, we were humiliated in Durban. I don't remember that 96 tour. But in general, the South African pitches and the Australian pitches are the same because they're both in Southern Hemisphere. And both the pitches, the soils are the same texture of soil. Given what exactly you said, I just framed this question hearing Amit. Do you think this game time preparation, thinking the World Cup would be in South Africa, Namibia, and Kenya? South Africa, Kenya, almost half an hour. I've been to Kenya and South Africa. It's a half an hour flight. The grounds are absolutely so. Kenya is a ground which Saurav Ganguly scored one of the better hundreds of his career in the 2000 Champions Trophy. Kenya is a batting paradise. Yeah, yes. Champions. So, Ayan, first to you. Do you think if this is the preparation, as Amit said, these are the grounds, of course, the drop-in pitch is not going to be there in a World Cup. Do you think Australia, these three matches are really good enough? Because we don't play any other tournament now. Is good enough for the 27 World Cup?
No, absolutely not. Very clearly, it is not good enough. And I hope the Indian team realizes this, the team management realizes this, because, see, our problem in all formats of the game is our batting, is the frailty of our batting.
Even the England series showed that.
Everywhere,
England series showed that.
Everywhere. Wherever we lose, again, Rahul, see, remember, we basically win because of our bowlers and we lose because of our batters.
Batting, and we never say that we'll win for bowlers. We always say we are a batting strong
team. But it's not correct. We typically, you see, we have at times won these matches at Durban and Perth. It's because the Indian bowlers have defended bad totals.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, and invariably...
Durban, if you remember, 2006 was... very unlike character, Santakumar Srishant. Srishant got a magnificent spell. Magnificent spell.
That careless dismissal is something that we have grown up seeing Indian batsmen get out, right?
The ball,
You-
yeah,
See,
magnificent Sushant
so
spell that was.
I still remember Dilip Vengsarkar in his last tour at the Australian tour in 91, 92.
92.
His
Yeah,
last innings at Adelaide, he got
Adelaide.
this ball from Merv Hughes in the second inning
Mahavir,
to
yeah,
away chasing.
yeah.
As
He
others
was,
scored his only century. So he
yeah.
blocked like that and he was actually looking where the ball had gone. And it was, of course, caught at third slip or something. It was so embarrassing. Now, Jacques Callis, one of the greatest all rounders the world has seen, actually jumping up like a bunny rabbit to Srishant and getting out
You
caught at
remember?
point. It
You
is
remember
unbelievable.
how Callis was taking his body away, and he just
That's
felt
what
in the gloves and
I,
that.
Are,
He just
he
took his body
jumped.
away.
No, he
Yeah,
jumped up. He
yeah. That's what
actually
I'm saying. He
jumped
jumped up.
up.
Yeah,
So that kind of dismissal for caused by an Indian
yeah.
fast
Coming
bowler.
back to your point, it is
Yeah.
bowlers, whether it's Srishant
Yes.
or it is Munaf Patel,
Right.
whoever it is, a bowler.
It is a
Zahir
bonus,
Khan.
but the problem is if the see, as I said, the problem with one-day cricket is it is become na ghar ka na ghat ka. That is the problem with ODIs, and along
These are
with that,
becoming a big problem.
yeah, and along with the fact is that the ICC does not have the guts to call it off.
That
Okay,
is exactly
and
what I'm trying to tell you. We
nobody
do not
will.
have preparation time and we don't call it off also.
I totally agree with you, but Rahul, what me and Amit are trying to say is that ICC will not call it off. You check out and see
No,
because
no, they'll
nobody will
not. They'll not.
protest.
That's what I'm saying. But there's no game time also. There's no
Right.
game time.
But nobody will protest.
The
Everybody
World
will
Cup is
have it like
27
this.
November, which is 2 years. And we only played 3 similar matches in Australia. Then that's it. We play
So,
8 matches next year, which is
no,
mostly in
see,
home.
it is my ardent hope that the Indian team management shows some sense and they play some lead up matches, preparatory matches, at least a month. They go to South Africa like 2 weeks or a month ahead of
Next
time and
entire
play.
year, and as you know, is the T20 World Cup. So entire year is spent in Westing T20 till we come to December where we play 5 test matches. I think Amit against Australia, right? A home against Australia is what we get.
Yes.
A five. That's a big one. But
That's
then
a big one.
the next,
No,
that's a
so
very big one.
No, so hopefully that before the 27 World Cup, they will have the sense to send the team with at least 15, 20 days in hand, go and play some practice matches. And see, because the last World Cup in South Africa, India played magnificently in all matches except the final.
But the
We
funny
had
part, both of you, is if India loses in World Cup, hell will break loose. Hell will break
probably.
loose.
I don't know actually. Does the public also care so much about 50-50? I'm
No,
not sure.
because
Do they
in
care?
South Africa, the grounds will be full. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
World Cup, the grounds will be
World
full.
Cup
So
is
the revenue
anyway.
would be
Yeah,
there.
sure,
Anyway.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Amit,
It will
what's
be
your
there.
take on this lead up to the World Cup? Do you think this preparation is enough? I mean, I
No,
answer clearly no.
no,
No. So what's
no.
your take on this? 3 matches in Australia. That's all. Then in New Zealand. And then South Africa. That's it. So how do you look
Uh,
at the preparation for 50 overs? I mean, another question. If Yashasvi Jaiswal comes in for Rohit, we almost think that he will. Then how do we play? He plays only T20 and Test matches. He doesn't play 3 or 4 ODIs and straight away put into the World Cup. I think it will be a harakiri to put Jaiswal in the ODIs side for World Cup. So what's your take on
you
that?
know, yeah, first of all, I mean, if India doesn't play too many, at least 10 to 15 ODIs before the 2027 World Cup, they will be totally undercooked. I don't see there will be any
India is playing
chance
9.
for
India
them.
is playing 9 after this. 9 World Cups.
So, so
Nine ODIs. Only 9.
nine ODIs just before the World Cup with maybe two warm up
True
matches.
this.
I don't think it's enough to kind of convince me at least that we'll be we'll be in a better shape. But having said that, how YJ comes in, I mean, I personally feel that we can see the way Rohit was batting. I mean, I think on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
The
Sunday.
first match
Sunday.
So the way some of the drives he was making, I mean, I personally feel that he looked in good touch. He has lost a bit of weight as well. It seemed he was fielding well. I think at short third man. I think at least I would give him another series. I do not know whether he will be able to kind of grab these opportunities in the next
There's a
couple of
home series
matches in
against South
Australia or
Africa.
not.
There's a home series against South
So,
Africa
so,
after the test matches.
yeah. So after the test matches, if we have a home series, I think there will be England series as well, right? So
There's England 3 ODIs. Yeah.
what we can do is, I mean, I don't know whether that Indian team selectors or coaches management agree to me or not. What we can do is, I mean, we need to breed someone like YJ at the earliest. So if you have to draft in YJ,
I personally
why
feel
can't
that
we
because
have a
if we have Rohit, then I think it's going to be a problem. If we decided we're not going to keep Rohit for World Cup, then I think we have to blood. Because if Rohit keeps on playing and he does well, then YJ is the issue. Then that's a headache. It's a real headache.
I think form of Shreyas Iyer is very important. I think form of Virat Kohli is very important, and I mean how I look at it. I mean, at least for the next few years, I mean 1 or 2 years, I do not know how many more matches we'll be playing. But what I feel like YJ can be partnering Shubman Gill. Sorry, YJ can be partnering Rohit, followed by Kohli, Gill at number four. The way he has been batting in the Test matches,
No,
so
no,
or the
I'm not.
position.
You're talking of Test matches or ODIs?
ODIs. I'm saying that Gill can be drafted at number four. Let's see. I mean, I don't know whether
Gill
Shreyas
is
Iyer will
basically an
live up to the
opener.
expectation.
I don't think Gill will come down in ODIs also. I don't
See,
think. What's your take, Ayon? Gill to come
I-
down? Do you think Gill will come down, Ayon?
This is actually a
why
very
it
good
is
point that Amit has raised. See, why I find some merit at this point is that Shreyas has this absolutely confirmed problem against the short ball. I think the way
Okay,
he got
okay.
out this
No, no,
time
that's
is
why
a
I asked
problem.
Rajdeep also in that
It
shot.
is
But that
confirmed now.
short ball is in Test matches, which
No,
is
no, no.
worked out in ODIs
But
also.
no,
I
you
have
saw the
not
way he
seen
got
him.
out. Did you see the way he got
Yeah,
out?
I
He,
did.
he had a ball at his rib cage and he gloved it to the wicketkeeper. Right? I
Correct.
mean, come on. I mean, Hazelwood is not the fastest of all bowlers. I mean, what? I mean, he was not, I don't know, Ellis, I think. Then Nathan Ellis. Whom did he get out? I mean, that was not one of Australia's crack bowlers. Okay? And he still got fending the ball. So that, Rahul, if Shreyas, in fact, while we are discussing Rocco, I think the person on the line may actually be Shreyas Iyer. It may be that if he flops in this series, his the possibility of him being under
Chopped.
consideration in the 27 World Cup, which will be held in similar conditions, might be really under pressure.
Now my
and
And
question
even
then,
to Achha,
looking
okay.
at
and then
looking at
what Amit says is a very good solution. You
No,
have
no,
a
it's a
right
good
hand, left
question.
hand
That's why I
combo.
brought you here because
Right. So
if
right hand, left hand combo at the beginning. Rohit right hand, left hand Jaiswal. You have Gill at either number three or number four, and then you have Kohli. Now Kohli again is a question mark because if he played, see, I think he made an unforced error. That the one that it was like a bad shot you play in tennis, right? Just
that
a
shot, yeah.
you casual shot he played. He got out the first ball. Maybe what was lingering in his head, maybe the team had discussed is that there could be rain, so there could be a curtailment. So Kohli was probably asked to get on with it at the beginning. He played a very flashy drive at the first ball, 2 3 balls, and he got out. So hopefully he's a better player than that. He's always been extremely successful in Australia. Remember, Australia has been his favorite hunting ground outside India.
correct,
He's been extremely
correct,
successful.
extremely,
Even
extremely.
when we lost 4-0 in 2014, Kohli was still good, right? So I
Yeah.
think Australia, I really believe that he can have a field day at Adelaide. So this is where, see, Kohli is under pressure. If he delivers at Adelaide, you will still have to admit that that mental iron stuff is very much in him still. He's still mentally very strong.
I
So
agree.
Shreyas
I
Iyer
totally
is
agree with
almost
that.
like that. But I think Amit, you
Actually,
will agree that in
it's a
terms of
good point which
technique,
Amit brought in surprisingly that Shreyas could be the one in the line. But my question to both of you finally is Shreyas being made the vice captain, BCCI has given a signal. Do you think he will be chopped after being made the vice captain?
Absolutely, he
Shreyas
can be.
was
It's a kind of they have tangled the carrot in front of him. I don't think that. See, Shreyas Iyer after his open conversation with one of yeah, I mean one of the journalists, he didn't expect that Gautam Gambhir will be taking all the credit away from him for the KKR I mean, lifting the IPL, right? I mean, he himself told that, and after that, he's gotten a good decision. You have heard, right? Like, Gautam Gambhir is very egoistic man. Let's be very honest. I mean, Abhimanyu Insurance for the kind of criticized the management. He is job, and I personally don't see Abhimanyu Insurance coming into the Indian team anymore. I mean, even if he performs well against South Africa AS series, I don't see. Maybe it could be his last chance, but I don't see Manishwaran performing that well against South Africa and force his way into the Indian side. Number one. Number two, Sarfaraz Khan, he kind of openly said something. he lifts something from the dressing room, in Australia, and he immediately got chucked off. There is nothing. Some people are saying about the religion, other things. No, I don't personally think that Gautam Gambhir will
No,
be a
I have
religion
written in
kind of.
I have written in my Twitter also, which I'll share after this show in our group. It is because of that problem with Sarfaraj, where Gautam Gambhir alleged that he had leaked out certain information to the press,
Exactly, exactly.
Which Gambhir did not take well. There's nothing to do with religion. You know, as you rightly said, Gambhir is a very difficult man. If you, he is like highway or my way, and that is where he has got traits of Great Chapel. I mean, you may not agree. Last show you did not agree with me, but he has got traits of Great Chapel. It is you have to
He
bow down
has.
before him.
He's a
He
very.
has very difficult guy to
Gautam
handle.
Gambhir is a Gautam Gambhir is a very egoistic man. I mean, everyone
Very
knows it. I
egoistic.
mean,
Very
very,
difficult man to
very.
handle.
See, he comes from a very good background. I mean, unlike some of our greats like MS Dhoni, Sachin Tendulkar, they have very humble background. And Gautam Gambhir, I mean, you know probably more than me. He has got a very, very solid background. So, knowing Gambhir, whatever little I know of him, I don't see that these guys will be coming into the
I don't
Indian
see
side anymore.
Sarfraz playing for India. I do not see, to be very frank, I think Ayan will agree with me. I do not see Ishwaran playing for India. But Ishwaran might, I still have a 10% because Saurav Ganguly is the CAB player. So I am not ruling it out. Saurav Ganguly is a difficult guy to handle as well. So, but how?
Shreyas Iyer is
See,
hanging. Shreyas Iyer is hanging around.
yeah,
I
yeah,
personally
yeah,
feel that it's make or break for him. I mean, if he performs well in Australia or maybe the year series after this,
yeah.
he will be given a longer run. But if he fails to kind of capitalize on this kind of opportunities, I'm pretty sure it will be YJ coming back with
Back,
Rohit,
yeah.
and followed by Kohli, maybe Gill at number 4, Rahul. Maybe they will look at Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya. We have enough players in our reserves who will kind of get
Rishabh
into the Indian
Pant, again, I
teams.
have doubts, but we'll keep it for another show. RP, I have doubts. KL Rahul, I have doubts because Jadeja
Maybe
just
Rahul's
saved
backup.
him.
Rahul's backup. I mean, Rahul is the fast track keeper. Maybe in World Cups, he will be having a backup
We
keeper.
have
Rahul,
had that
right now,
discussion. I think Rishabh Pant could be, which Rajdeep also told you, that Rishabh Pant might make a comeback to ODI side if Sanju Samson doesn't work out. But T20, I don't see Rishabh Pant coming back in the near future.
I'm not talking about T20. I'm not talking about T20, Rahul. I'm talking only about the ODI.
ODI. But I think
KL Rahul's replacement.
yeah. In this 1 hour discussion, we had the good point which you really made, which I also agreed, and I was surprised at the point you made that Shreyas Iyer could be on the line. Yes,
Yes.
we're talking of
Yes.
Roko for a long time. Shreyas could be on the line because of again the same reason as Sarfraz. Gautam Gambhir is just watching, so it could be on the line by making. But I still feel that Shreyas Iyer will play the World Cup 27. He's 31. I think he will
Let's
play.
see.
But
Let's see. I
again,
mean, but
see,
he has to perform.
but
He has to
Rahul,
perform.
remember, if this T27 World Cup were being held in India, I would say that the odds are on Shreyas playing.
Shreyas playing.
The matches happening at South Africa, that is a different ballgame.
No, but
If
Mayan, you have to tell me who will be the replacement. We know YJ is a
No, no,
replacement for Gill,
yes. No,
for Rohit, but who
no,
is
no,
the
what?
replacement for
No,
Shreyas at
but
4?
exactly the way Amit said, you have Pant, you have even Samson, you have many people. So, see, Pant is a very good batter. He's good against the bouncing ball. He's a very audacious stroke maker and he's very talented, no doubt about that. His temperament may be an issue. He just plays some atrocious shots at time, but I think in the limited version of the game, that doesn't really count so much. That doesn't really happen too much, also, right? So, the way what Amit said, that's a perfect thing, right? You have opening, open with YJ and Rohit. Number 3, see, Gill is number 3 in Test, so he can also move in number 3. I think between Kohli and Gill, you may have a 3 and a 4. Number 5, Rahul, they will not dare touch at South Africa. He is the best technically equipped batsman in the Indian
Yeah, he's
batting
the
team
best.
at
He
the
will not
moment.
touch. So
He's
I
absolutely
think
the
the
best.
Shreyas Iyer you were saying is a line. Oh, and we have to watch.
So, and you brought up this vice captaincy, right? Rahul, this vice captaincy in the Indian team has been made a joke now. It has become a
Yes, I
joke,
agree.
right? Jadeja was, as we discussed last time, right? That
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was,
That is, I myself was I was very
thank you
surprised.
to Jadeja and sorry to Shreyas, right?
Yes.
Shreyas Iyer was dropped in the format where he is the most comfortable in.
in T20,
right?
yeah. And we, everyone was surprised. Everyone
If
was
they
surprised.
could drop him there, you think they will keep him in ODIs? There is no chance. Anyway, it is very clear that that the team management are not extremely comfortable with him because he has a very strong personality. He's a good leader, and that kind of personality no management likes. They're
No
very
man,
clear,
correct. Absolute.
right?
A strong
And
person, especially someone like Gautam Gambhir, will not like. John Wright might
certainly
like,
not.
would have liked
But that's
because
a different
John
thing.
Wright being a soft guy and Saurav Ganguly being a tough guy, it worked well.
Saurav
But
Ganguly would not have worked like I'm not sure how much Saurav Ganguly would have liked because if you think of the team that Saurav had, the team Saurav built. See, we always are very happy with the team because the team functioned very well. See, people like Yuvraj and all said that even
obviously,
later on when
Ayan, as
Saurav was done.
you also would like, as a dean of a big university, you would agree that if your university is
Yes.
performing on every parameter, you will not look into the
See,
nitty-gritty. So, as
see,
a captain, if you are winning, will not, as a critic, will not
yes, you
will not put
build.
our telescope to see what is
See,
happening.
you build your team. You build your team. आज हम लोग गवर्नमेंट को इतना गाली दे रहे हैं, right? If you
Yeah.
see his team winning the T20 and the 27 World Cup and winning in against South Africa and beating Australia, then where you will say that boss it worked. See, in Saurav's team, the only person, wait, was there a single person who had that kind of personality to challenge Saurav? No one, right?
No.
Tendulkar was there. He was already a absolute colossus. But Sachin Tendulkar has never been an atrocious personality. Never.
Exactly,
Eh,
and personality-wise, he was never a challenge for any
He
captain.
was
He would not be a challenge. He
never,
was
right?
never a
He
challenge.
was too much in love with the game that
And
his
he was
obsession with
only
the game was
he was
enough.
obsessed with his only batting. He was obsessed with himself. So
And with
I
the
mean, it
game.
will not be a problem. Yeah.
That is why he was a bad captain, right? Because he used to stand in mid on
Saurav
and
luckily
drive the
had a
bowler crazy.
tremendous team with no one to challenge.
Right.
Tremendous team, none to challenge.
And
No
his
one to
great
challenge. Not a single
see,
person could challenge him.
his greatness probably lay in the fact that he placed his bets on the right people. He
And
judged
and
Zaheer,
that was
he
probably his
judged Harbhajan.
greatness as a, yeah.
Yes.
Not only Harbhajan, Yuvraj,
No, that's what I'm saying.
Zahir Khan, the entire lot. Harbhajan, Yuvraj, Zahir
Again,
Khan,
see,
Sehwag.
Rahul Dravid would have been thrown out of the ODI team. Ganguly got him
He
to
survived
be
his,
a
yeah, he
wicket
saved his
keeper.
career. Absolutely, he saved his career by putting him in the
So,
cap.
of course, Dravid did not reciprocate when
No, did
Chappell
not. Obvious.
axed
Correct.
Ganguly. Dravid
Yeah,
did
yeah.
nothing, and I think
Correct.
the axing of Ganguly from the team was evidently unfair. But Gautam Gambhir hasn't done something
I
close to
am
that.
apprehending similar acting from the team
But
with
I
Gautam
have
Gambhir.
not seen that.
Like
See,
I don't know who it
again,
is going to be, but
I,
I'm already Ashwin gone, Kohli gone. I am
Nana,
looking
but
at someone.
those
I don't
see,
know.
Rahul, whatever be your, your dislike for Gambhir, you will agree with us that is not the same league as Chappell dropping Saurav. Saurav had scored a
No, it will
century in the
not.
last
Obviously,
match he played,
Saurav Ganguly's
right?
stature and Gambhir's stature are not same. I agree,
No.
but
I'm saying that
I am
Chappell dropping Saurav
yeah.
is not the same as Gambhir dropping Roko or Ashwin. This is not the same because
No,
Saurav was in extremely good batting form. He had every right to be part of that team. He was dropped only because the coach had a problem with him. Gambhir till now has not. Well, Shreyas Iyer, that part is a iffy thing. But again, Shreyas Iyer is not in the same league of Saurav in 2005. When
that's
he
what
was dropped
obvious.
after
That
the
is not
Zimbabwe tour, he scored a
correct.
century in the Test match. His problem was of course, that was a very audacious thing. He actually talked to Bogle. I don't know if you remember this in the post-match interview. He told Harsha Bogle, that there were plans about not having me play, and
Yeah.
yes, here I was. उसके लिए his career was 2 years were thrown out of his career, right? 1 year or whatever. But that again, sort of by that time had already established himself to be one of the greatest captains of India. And if you really talk in terms of results abroad, I think Saurav Ganguly is the best captain India has ever had in terms of results
Definitely.
abroad,
No, there's no
test
doubt
matches
about it.
abroad, no
Yeah.
doubt. Right? So after that, he was axed when he was not in very bad batting form. He had scored a century against Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe in
But the
2005 was not a bad team.
lead to the series from 2003 to 5, his form was horrible. If
Was
you
not
look at,
great.
I'll pick up the data. From 3 to 5, I think he played 20 test matches in which he scored less than 1,000 runs, which was
No, no, no.
extremely poor.
But Tendulkar had 11 Test matches with 81 runs, 11 innings with 81 runs before he scored that double century at Sydney.
No, but
I know.
again, you can't compare Saurav and Sachin.
Yeah.
Sachin is in a different
But
level.
remember,
So,
2003-4, the match that the sort of last century was the Gabba innings, the Brisbane innings. That set India's performance. The fact that India drew 1-1 against the mighty Aussies and could have won at Sydney, other than Buckner and Bowden. That was India's match. India were cheated out of that match. 2004, Steve was swan song, should have been spoiled. Australia should have lost by tea time that day. And that mood
actually,
was set
and that was
because
a bad umpiring, horrible umpiring in that series
horrible umpiring that last day,
by
right?
Steve
Because
Buckner. Yeah, horrible.
Bucknor has had a problem against India. Absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, surely he had a problem against India.
yeah,
And
yeah,
there were
yeah.
no referrals that time, right? And otherwise, I think all of Bucknor's decisions in that innings would have been reversed.
So
What
finally,
what
Ayan
I'm
and
trying
Amit,
to
what is?
yeah.
Yeah, please,
Just
Amit,
let me
please,
conclude.
Ayan.
What I'm trying to say is that Saurav's innings of 144 at Brisbane set
Brisbane
the resilience of the entire team for the whole
team,
series.
correct.
So
Agreed,
that
agreed.
is one of the greatest innings played by Indian batsmen abroad. I can only compare that with Rahane's 118 or 100 whatever against
And
Australia at
Australia
Melbourne.
and
At
Melbourne, yeah.
Melbourne, that also
So
turned the team.
finally,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
take on two things. One, just finally, one line at take. ODI
yeah.
is going to survive or not?
Yes,
One line. Yes.
yes.
Amit, you're
Yes,
saying
yes, it
survive,
will
but in a
survive,
very, very
but
tepid way.
in a different, yeah, in a different way. Yeah.
Not the ones we used to see, 30 ODIs a year. Okay.
No,
And my
no.
last question, both of you, what is going to be the result of this series? This 3 ODI series.
Somebody's going
India
to win
losing
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
India losing 2-1. Both of them saying the same thing.
I thought somebody is going to win 2-1.
Oh, Amit said India losing 2-1. He said somebody's
I
going to win 2-1. So,
tend to agree with Amit because typically India, if they don't win the opener, they typically lose the series. India's
so tomorrow
tradition, if you
India is going
see,
to win. By all probability, that's
very
the uh,
biggest
uh,
chance.
biggest. I think the
I
biggest
mean,
takeaway from this.
Rahul, Australian ODI team is not something that is, they're not
Unbeatable.
close
The
to what
test
they
side
were.
is good, yeah. The T20 side is also pretty strong, but
Yeah,
definitely that ODI side is not the ODI side
not
which used to be
close, not
before.
close.
Not close, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Batting is
So
very, very
India need
problematic.
to watch out for Mitchell Marsh. Mitchell Marsh
Yes,
seems to
yes.
be
Mitch
in
Marsh,
really
Mitch
good
Marsh
form.
is in good form. They're planning to draft him to the test side also. That's what I heard today. They might draft him to the test side. So on that note, we're going to
Yeah.
thank both of you. We had a good
Yes.
discussion on the World Cup, and most importantly, we had discussed on one good point coming up is that Shreyas Iyer. Also something comes up. So Shreyas Iyer, both our panelists thinks that he might be on the line, and it's not
Absolutely.
Rocco only. So that is what we're going to watch tomorrow, and the matches against South Africa and England also. So on that note, I'd like to thank both Ayan and Amit and Sudeep. So thank you so much, and good night. We'll be
Good
catching up
night.
for the very big show on Saturday. Bye bye.
Saturday. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.